The far left section on TikTok still hasn't learned the lesson because they're still like, America was always this bad. Trump just made it obvious. Are you implying that this shit is okay? Are you still trying to make people not vote? Or maybe keep voting for some weirdos like Jill Stein? Like, what is your point? What's the goal here? Philosophically, of course, you can say America was always bad. Right? You can even say the whole human race was always bad. That's not a wrong statement, is it? Right? Just look at all the destructive shit we did so far. We're just a bad species. In fact, the whole fucking universe is bad. Right? What's the point of all this lifeless darkness taking up all the space? Some grim shit like black holes or white dwarfs. Not a fan, no. So yeah, in a philosophical sense, yes, America was always bad. But practically speaking, what's the point of that statement? When you say America was always bad, you need to define good. Which countries do you consider good? And what actions do you think will make America catch up with those good countries? If you're really ambitious and patient and knowledgeable, and you have a huge blueprint in your head, well, of course you can dream something big. Knock yourself out. But some of you only read like a few books, and then you're like, we're gonna end capitalism. Oh my God. What is capitalism anyway? Nobody knows. If you ask 100 people, they're gonna give you 300 different answers. Even Karl Marx never made it clear. I grew up in China when Marxism was required from K to 12. Okay, I read a bunch, and then I came here and got a PhD in political science. I still don't know what capitalism means. Maybe I'm dumber, but actual quantitative political science and economics rarely use that word anymore. Because how do you measure that thing? Like, how do you know if one country is more capitalist than the others? So whether you support capitalism or oppose capitalism, either way, you're wasting your time. Because it's not a thing. It's not a quantifiable variable. So it doesn't really help us understand the world. Of course, you can use these big terms to earn more views on TikTok, but it's not a useful political strategy to get the policy you want. Then there are also folks who told me, I don't care about capitalism or socialism. I just want what China has. That really shocked me because I literally ran from that country. I gave up not just the place, but pretty much my native language. Think about it. I haven't been writing or making videos in Chinese for years because I fear the consequence of saying something that the big brother doesn't like. So I was really perplexed what people want that China has. And quite a few of them told me that they like China's home ownership. They said China has like 90 something percent home ownership. That really cracked me up. I mean, I don't blame you because it's hard to read between the lines if you never lived there. Home ownership can be a lot of different things. Let me tell you, half of China's urban married couples live with their parents, mostly the husband's parents, but occasionally the wife's. And they're all considered homeowners, just except they co-own the homes with their parents. So good luck copying that. If you think your parents or parents-in-law are easier to deal with than your landlords, go for it. Okay, you will all become homeowners. And that 49.2% is the urban percentage. In rural areas, it's even higher. And some migrant workers have houses in the countryside, but they can't live there because there are no jobs. They have to go to some big cities and rent some fucking basement so that they can have a job. And sometimes they have to leave their children in the countryside with their grandparents or even, by themselves. Those are called left behind children. And there are more than 60 million of them in China. And those families are all counted as homeowners. So guys, I don't blame you for romanticizing China. It's a super complicated system, and foreign travelers normally are confined in some nice window dressing cities, like the capital in Hunger Games. Of course they think it's good. Okay, I don't want to digress too much. This is not a video about China. What I'm saying is that it's okay to dream big, but you need to recognize the nice parts of your life that you still have. If you don't recognize them, you lose the motivation to protect them, and you're destroying other people's motivation to protect them. You still have the freedom of speech, don't you? You can still bitch on TikTok without being sent to a labor camp, right? You still have the freedom of not going to the church, don't you? That's something. And there hasn't been a military conscription for 50 years. How long do you think that will last if Trump starts to invade Canada? And there hasn't been double-digit inflation for more than 40 years, right? How long do you think that will last when Trump gets rid of the Federal Reserve independence and keep doing the trade war against the whole planet? And there hasn't been a war on the American soil since Pearl Harbor. That won't stick either if Trump starts to shoot up protesters like he promised to do. And since the 22nd Amendment about the term limit, there hasn't been any president who tried to stay past 2 terms. That's some achievement, right, in terms of democratic durability. But how long do you think that will last? Also, imagine when the next pandemic hits and RFK is in charge of your health, right? Everybody has something to lose. Of course, stakes are even higher for racial minorities, women, and LGBT because they came a long way from centuries of oppression. But even straight white men can lose a lot under a dictatorship. Just ask the nearly 1 million dead or injured Russian cannon fodder sent to the front by Putin. Of course, Trump reflects part of the existing symptoms of the American government. But you need to recognize that he is also something new. He's not only gonna resume what's bad, he's also gonna destroy what's good. Don't forget that part. I know it sounds edgy to claim that there's nothing good to preserve and the status quo is just straight up evil, but it doesn't help. Sometimes I get angry at Bernie for that reason. Right? He's a good guy with plenty of good ideas, but he did contribute to the narrative that America was at the rock bottom and couldn't get any worse. He didn't say that, but he contributed to that narrative. And that narrative disalarmed a lot of people about Trump's danger. Let me tell you, there's no such thing as rock bottom. Life can always get worse. If you think this is rock bottom, read any page in any history book and ask yourself if you want to go back there. Okay, find a page in world history that you want to go back to.